Good evening, wrestling fans. Happy Easter, and welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined, of course, by Joey Nuggs, and it looks like AIWF Superfan Madison is going to be joining us as well. How are you doing tonight, Joey?
I am doing just great, Loving the ears, man. Happy Easter pre-celebration, I guess.
Yeah, it's Good Friday tomorrow, so we're looking forward to a lot of great things, and we will see who else is going to join us. But we have got a jam-packed show for you tonight, so let's go ahead and see if we can't find the announcements and get into those. And we will get started here. Let me get the slideshow ready. I'm telling you, I'm going to upgrade to a second monitor, so you won't have to see me working the controls eventually, but it's not in the budget right now. Mm-hmm. So anyway, all right, let's get to it. AIWF is putting a headlock on high advertising prices. If you'd like to advertise on this program, we can certainly make that happen for you for a 30-second to 1 minute read. For a week is only $6. For monthly, that's 3 or 4 times a month. We take a week off every now and then, but not too much. It's only $10 a month if you need our help shooting. If you need us to shoot a video commercial for you, well, that's not a problem. We can make that happen for only $20 per week or $30 a month. And we'll be glad to help you out. You'll be featured not only on this program, but at our live events and on all of our social media platforms, including our AIWF Instagram account, Facebook, YouTube, and the whole 9 yards, because this podcast not only is available here on Facebook Live, but it also will be up later tonight on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places you see here. And of course, your advertisement will be seen on the Roku channel if and when Kevin Phoenix puts it on there, which can be sketchy at best. But Joey Nuggs, I did not have time to do the audit today before we came on the air. Have you checked the Roku page to see if there's any new additions?
I have not been on the Roku channel since last week. I've had a very hectic week so far.
Okay. All right. So one of the things we're going to be doing tonight, guys, is we have got, if they join us, good old Smokey has come back to work for us, and he is going to be monitoring the Facebook chat. So as soon as I get Smokey on the air or get confirmation from Smokey that he is on the comments section on Facebook, I know Madison has joined us here, but a lot of our fans are kind of shy when it comes to going on camera and asking questions of the panel and whatnot. So what you can do is just put your question in the comment section here on Facebook Live. A couple of things I want you to do, though. I need your name, where you're watching us from, city and state, and then your question. So you just need your first name. Don't need your last name. Don't need your social security number. Don't need any banking information, none of that stuff. You just put that information in the contacts, in the comments on Facebook, and we will do our best to answer your question. All right. So as we mentioned, we are on Instagram. Boy, that thing has been growing by leaps and bounds. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but you can definitely see us on Instagram. And if I'm not mistaken, we have a presence on TikTok now. Kevin Phoenix sent me a clip that was put on TikTok earlier this week with some clips of the show this past Saturday night, which Joey Nuggs, you were heavily involved with. But I can't use it on this show because it uses copyrighted music. But anyway, we do have a presence on TikTok now. So if you're a TikToker, head on over. It's the same as the Instagram. Just search AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling on TikTok. So I don't know who's running that. My guess would be Haley Bug. So if that's the case, then thank you so much. We're also on Twitter, although that account has not been updated as much lately. All you have to do is search AIWF_mid. That's AIWF_mid. All right, so let's get right to it. Our sponsor, excuse me, and I coughed right into the microphone. That's me doing an impersonation of Bobby Dalton right there, Joey Nuggs.
You got to lay down if you're going to do that.
Lay down on the couch, no shirt on, coughing to the microphone. Just next thing.
Pull any kind of lit you might have out of your belly button. You got to do that.
Oh,
make it real sophisticated for the folks.
Oh, mercy. So AIWF Ringside Wrestling would like to thank our sponsor, Branch Management. They are a tree service that operates in the Mount Airy, Surry County area of North Carolina. They can help you with branches that are maybe too close to structures, normal pruning, or complete tree removal. They also offer general landscaping as well as pressure washing. You can also earn a $100 referral if you turn them on to some other people. And all you have to do to set up an appointment for a free estimate is call the telephone number 336-325-5300. That telephone number again, 336-325-5300, and they will be glad to answer any of your questions. So again, that $100 referral bonus, nice gig, and we'd like to thank Branch Management for their continued support. And we'd like to have you and your small business join us as well for the low price of $10 a month. Cannot beat that anywhere in wrestling. Commissioner Smilin Diamond Dave has joined us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Matt. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, sir? Did you have a good time at the race this past Saturday night?
You want me to lie to you or tell you the truth?
Yeah, tell me the truth.
It was boring as shit, and I froze to death.
Yeah, it was not the typical Martinsville race, that's for sure. A lot of people were. Hey, and here's something else. Now, I thought, remember, I talked to you, and I promise we'll get back to wrestling real quick, guys. I talked to you about we need Buddy back. Buddy who, Madison? We need Buddy back. I got distracted by something in the chat. Who are you talking about, Buddy? Buddy who? You'll have to tell me in the chat.
I don't know who Buddy is.
I have no idea who Buddy is. But anyway, so remember I was joking about when I went to Atlanta a few weeks ago and they ran out of Coca-Cola, right? Which I thought was just, if you can't get a cold Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia, man, something's wrong with the world. Well, check this out. They reported on MRN that they ran out of hot dogs down in the infield concession stand for a little while, and some of the crews were about to mutiny. And when I went to get hot dogs, Buddy Flowers. Oh, okay, Buddy Flowers. I got you. All right. Well, maybe he's out here listening. Maybe we'll see about getting Buddy back on the show. But so I went to the concession stand near the end of the race, and word came back through the line where they run out of toppings. So it was all just weenies and buns was all you could get at the end. And there was a guy up there who was so mad he was fit to be tied. He told me that he had waited in line downstairs for 45 minutes for them to tell him they were out of buns. So it ain't looking good for the concession stands in NASCAR right now, because they ran out of Cokes in Atlanta. They ran out of hot dogs in Martinsville. That is not a problem you will have if you come to AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling in Mount Airy, though, because T's Treats has you covered, and they don't hardly ever run out of anything. So come hungry when you come to the shows, because T's Treats has us covered. We don't have that problem at wrestling. So
they have the best French fries at any wrestling event I've ever had anywhere.
Man, have you had the red velvet funnel cake with the white powder on it?
What?
The red velvet funnel cake. It'll make your tongue smack your eyeballs plumb out of your head.
I ain't had that. I might have to see if I can sneak in early and get one of those next event.
Oh man, I'm here to tell you.
The wrestling fans usually don't let me get more than a French fry if I can get that half the time.
That's why you get there early before they get live.
That's what I said, if I can get there early. Yeah, I might get one.
Yeah, because they start cooking before the wrestling fans get there. So yeah, it might be best for you to get it before they get there. But yeah, definitely T's Treats is definitely not going to be running out of stuff. So be sure you hit them up. We'll be back in Mount Airy on the 23rd. So, but let's get into some of the announcements here. Coming up on Friday, April 15th, this is a benefit event for Carl Wong.
This is tomorrow night.
Yep, that's Friday, tomorrow night at East Lincoln Speedway at Excalibur Championship Wrestling, XCW. The address is 18 73 Mariposa Road in Stanley, North Carolina. Great prices here. Adults only $8, kids 12 and under 5. Gates open at 6, bell time 7 p.m. and all proceeds go to Carl Wommeldorf. But that's about all I know about that show. Looks like Corey Edsel's on this show, Jay Malachi, according to the poster. So certainly an action-packed event at East Lincoln Speedway. And I believe the weather is supposed to be good tomorrow. I'll need to speaking of T's Treats.
Oh, you seen that post?
Tomorrow is the debut of T's Treats new donut truck.
What?
Yes,
What?
A new donut truck, I'm hearing.
When I get there, I'm going down there, Harbor Freight,
Because
I got to go right
Are
by
they
it.
the little mini donuts?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
So much for Joey Nuggs' diet.
Yeah, no kidding.
You can get any topping you want.
Oh, mercy. All right. Well, Katie barred the door and say, yeah, shut up and take my money, right? I mean, you don't even get to sell me.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, well,
No, I'm going tomorrow because I got to go right by it to go to my house. So I'm going to swing in Harbor Freight first. All right.
So they're going to be, so just for anybody in the Mount Airy area that's listening, so they're going to be at Harbor Freight. Where is that located, Smilin Diamond Dave?
I don't know the address, but it's down there next to Big Lots.
So is that on 601?
Yeah, it's off 601, right
Okay.
there at the red light.
Okay. All right. So if you know anything about Mount Airy, there's 2 roads. There's 89, there's 601. So Harbor Freight's on 601. If you go down 601, like going out of downtown, headed south on 601, you're bound to see it, right?
Like you go into Winston, if you like to go into Winston, you hit that red light, look to your right, and there's Harbor Freight.
So it's on 52 then, the 3rd road that I neglected to mention.
Yeah, 52. Why'd you say 601? I just followed you.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting a mess. Yeah, Harbor Freight is right off 52 next to Big Lots. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
I had Big Lots right.
Yeah, we just had the road wrong. So 52, ladies and gentlemen, like you're headed to Winston. All right. So anybody not in the Surry County or northern North Carolina area got no idea what the hell we're talking about, but that's okay because you probably ain't gonna be in Mount Airy tomorrow if you don't know. Anyways, so T's Treats new donut truck debuts tomorrow. FGW every Friday night at the FGW Arena in Hamilton, Ohio. Bell time 7 p.m. Front row $12. General admission $10. They're wearing bunny ears like me too. An Easter extravaganza, it says. Come join the bosom buddies this Friday night and try your luck at the Golden Easter Egg Raffle. See concessions to purchase your $1 Easter egg. Easy for me to say. So Hamilton, Ohio, get ready as FGW is coming up this Friday night and every Friday night at the FGW Arena in Hamilton, Ohio. Do not have an exact street address on that. This is all I could find. So sorry about that. And
here comes Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And Dave, hey, sing along with Dave. Okay, Rockingham, North Carolina, get ready. Big action coming your way. Well, I say Rockingham, but Wadesboro actually is it's Anson Anarchy coming your way this Saturday night, April 16th, bell time 7 p.m. It is at 1134 East Caswell Street in Wadesboro, North Carolina, behind Pizza Hut. All tickets $10. Kids 6 and under free. You've got the code there, the barcode. You can scan it with your phone if you're watching on the computer. If not, let's see if it's got any number to reach out to. No, just show up and buy tickets at the door. The AIWF Mid-Atlantic Women's Champion Casey Fox going to be in action as well. Looks like Corey Etzel's on this show too. So Corey Etzel, quite the man about town since he's come back into wrestling. He's everywhere these days, gentlemen.
And that's at the City Reach Community Center.
City Reach.
He is Corey Etzel is a top talent. You know, these promoters around here need to latch on to him and use him because not only is he a great person, a great commentator, as you have said before. He knows his history, and he is also a great athlete, got great ability. So I urge you promoters, reach out to him, book him.
Yeah, for those of you watching on Facebook, I have a picture of this new donut truck. I don't know if you can see, look how pink that thing is.
That looks like a donut truck.
If you can't see that from 52, man, you need to see an oculist, because that thing, that's bright, and that's the hottest pink I've seen since the 80s right there, I believe. So yeah, definitely check that out. Okay, so Casey Fox in action down in Wadesboro Saturday night. I am already thinking today's Friday. But anyway, that is Saturday night. Also, Custom Creations, our friends at WDWA Pro Wrestling in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Their next big show is the Holy Grail Tournament. That will be at Custom Creations, 605B Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg, West Virginia. All tickets $15. Bell time is at 6 p.m. Doors at 5. Ticket info and RSP telephone number is 681-247-2460. So if you're anywhere near Martinsburg, West Virginia on Saturday night, April 23rd, give this number a call to get your tickets. 681-247-2460. That's WDWA Pro Wrestling presenting the Holy Grail Tournament coming your way. Okay, and then of course, this one that we talked about, Thirst for Gold, the Simpsons poster, that Empire Pro Wrestling, that's finally coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So Saturday.
Thank God, I'm sick and tired of seeing this poster every week.
Well, they put it out 2 months in advance. So
they sure did. They wanted to get all the bang for their buck, so to speak.
Now, I checked on this event, and as far as I looked at their website last week, this event is still scheduled to go on because we hadn't seen any updates on Facebook, and it's still Patreon only. So this is in Oak City, Oklahoma, 4001 Northwest 39th Street. Doors open at 4, bell times at 5 p.m. Patreon subscribers exclusive. No tickets will be sold at the door. Not to say I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of that business model, but hey, it ain't my promotion. So good luck to them. You can get tickets at patreon.com/Empire Pro Wrestling OKC. That's patreon.com Empire Pro Wrestling OKC. I'm going to pull a Charles Rourke. What is that supposed to mean? I am in communication with Commissioner Rick Deezel right now as we do this show. So, all right, keep it moving here. All right, Excalibur. Again, you're like, wait a minute. Didn't we just talk about a show that they're doing? Yes, we did. And we're going to talk about another one. Of course, this one is going to take place in Florida. And as you can see, Corey Etzel again on this show. Dirty Joe is on this show. It's Saturday, April 30th, $10 for adults, $5 for kids. And it's going to be at 287 Southeast Racetrack Lane in Lake City, Florida. Now, I do not know much about Florida geography or know where that's at in Lake City, but that's where XCW is going to be. I'm not sure, what if there's a bigger city nearby. I'm sure it is. But anyway, XCW making their way down to Florida. And gentlemen, it's important to point out post-pandemic, we saw a decline in independent shows traveling before the pandemic, but since the pandemic, it's pretty much stopped. Everybody sits up at their home base, and that's that. So your comments and thoughts on XCW hitting the road, gentlemen?
I think it's I'm like Joey, I think it's great. Things is lightened up. Hey, let the promotions get back out there. Let them do what they do best in different towns now that they can get outside their home base. I think it's a great idea.
Joey Nuggs?
I agree 100%. Plus, this XCW, they're really stretching the brand. They're going from state to state. Which is awesome, and they are AIWF affiliate, right from the Mid-Atlantic area. So, it's making our company look awesome. I wish them much success and happiness.
I sure do too. And
anyone promoting a show got my respect, because it is not easy to run an independent wrestling show. It is not. You're guaranteed, if you don't do it right, to lose your shirt.
Yeah. And Junior Johnson had a saying, and I'm going to apply it to wrestling here. But the biggest way to turn a large fortune into a small fortune is to try to run an independent wrestling show these days. He used to say that about buying a race car and going to the racetrack. And so I give kudos to all these promoters. All right. Smokey has sent us our first question from for our new format where people can write in the comments section on Facebook, on Facebook. And the question is directed at you, Joey Nuggs.
Oh, no.
Alice from Cana, Virginia wants to know if Joey Nuggs had such a childhood is that what made him so dysfunctional? Joey Nuggs, did you have a sad childhood?
Who said I was dysfunctional?
Alice from Cana, Virginia says you're dysfunctional.
Well, first off, she's from Canaan, Virginia. That's enough by itself. Where is Canaan, Virginia? I'm not.
You know what they call people, Joey, not to interrupt you, from Canaan, Virginia?
Idiots.
They call them cabbage heads.
There you go. Enough said. Bunch of cabbage heads trying to judge Joey Nuggs.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Cana, Virginia cabbage heads. I did not know that. That's the first time I've heard
I didn't know I was dysfunctional. News to me. Maybe she's some psychologist I don't know about. I want to check her credentials to try to judge Joey Nuggs. Jeez.
We'll see. We'll see if Alice,
feel free to come up to the show and next show if you're there, Alice, and introduce yourself there, Dr. Alice.
Yeah, Cana is not far from Mount Airy. What? It's about 10 minutes up 52 across the state line.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's
well, you know, Alice, she might be in her own wonderland.
Exactly.
Well, Cana, Virginia is a wonderland of pottery and
cabbage heads.
Cabbage heads. Cabbage heads. Oh, me. All right. Freedom Force Wrestling in Florida as well is presenting Clash on the Coast Saturday, May 7th at the Travelodge Sports Complex. I don't know why that struck me funny. I'm sorry. No disrespect, man. I just read it right off the page. 225 Shalimar Street in Panama City Beach, Florida. $12 for ringside advance, $15 at the door, $10 general admission. Doors open at 6, bell times at 7. Again, that's Saturday, May 7th. Clash on the Coast. You can get tickets at ffwlive.com. That website again, ffwlive.com. That is Freedom Force Wrestling coming your way, Panama City Beach on Saturday, May the 7th. The Renegade Championship Wrestling list of shows is a lot, very numerous to name. They all take place in Cannon City, Colorado at 890 Field Avenue. Upcoming list of shows, as you can see, is next one is May 14th. It's called Cannon City Glory. And then they've got other shows listed here. It's probably not, for those of you listening on podcast, it's probably not real friendly, but I'll run through the dates anyway. Next show is May 14th, then June 11th, July 9th, August 13th, September 10th, October 8th, November 5th. And that's all coming up in Cannon City, Colorado, 890 Field Avenue. And that is Renegade Championship Wrestling. And just a reminder, folks, remember, put your questions in the comments here on the Facebook video. Smokey is monitoring it. And just remember, I need your name, where you're from, and your question for the panel. And it don't have to be about independent wrestling. We'll talk about all things wrestling, and we're going to get to that. I got to get my old handy dandy WWE app up here, and we can read the news from what happened on Raw this past week. No, I don't want to watch it. I want to read.
Nothing really.
Nothing really. Let's see. Latest news: Pretty Deadly survived the gauntlet to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. SmackDown Women's Championship: Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. I Quit match. I'd heard about that. Ronda was kind of mad about what happened with the referee and everything at WrestleMania, and so let's see. We'll get into the
Sonya Deville is making her comeback. So.
Well, that's good. That's good news. Sonya Deville. I always thought, me personally, I've seen Sonya Deville wrestle in person twice now. And I think she's underrated, man. I think the girl is damn ring general. I mean, I don't know if it does not translate to TV well or what the issue is, with her, just being put into a administrative type, thing across from Adam Pierce. But I mean, when she steps in the ring, the girl can go. She's just really skinny. I think that works against her a little bit. She's kind of
she went Monday night. Now she went Monday night. She left the champion land. So, and she signed the contract. So there is a match coming up.
All right. So, all right. Anyway, let me finish up the announcements real quick here. Rock and Roll Express, of course, on their farewell tour this year. They're going to be coming to Deal with the Steel in August in Mount Airy. We do not know who their opponents yet are, but we will, as soon as we find out, we will let you know. But yeah, the Rock and Roll Express on their way. This is their final tour. They're taking some more dates, but they're going to wrestle for the last time in Mount Airy on August 20th at Deal with the Steel. Also, Hall of Fame announcement. Here we go. Joining the 2022 class of the AIWF Hall of Fame, Justice Incorporated, Jammer and TNT. Now, I know Jammer. Jammer was still doing work for us when I joined up the AIWF in late 1996. The man who hails from Toast Beach, North Carolina. And I've been to Toast Beach, and it's quite the place. But Smilin Diamond Dave, I got to kind of throw this back to you. These guys were around, and when you and Don, I believe, were a team, and maybe even before.
Yes.
I don't know. So just kind of share with our viewers and listeners what you can tell us about Jammer and TNT.
Well, Jammer and TNT, both excellent in-ring performers, tough as they come. Jammer, I believe, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but other than my chops back in the day, I believe Jammer had the hardest chop back in the day other than me. Jammer was tough. He was quick. TNT, Tony Tate, TNT. I've had numerous battles with him. Tony is a great ring technician. He's quick. He's agile, just like Jammer. And that's why they made such a great tag team as Justice Incorporated. These, in my opinion, this is very well deserved on these two gentlemen's part. So it is, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. TNT.
They were big names in professional wrestling. I remember it definitely when I was just getting started. I remember these guys were in their heyday, and they definitely were great wrestlers. I remember it well.
Sure was.
And I'm proud to see that Justice Incorporated got brought into the Hall of Fame.
Let me ask you this, Dave.
I remember them.
When did TNT leave the AIWF? Do you remember? That's a long time ago.
Tony left, and there's a story behind that I know why, and there's a couple other people knows why, but that's not a story to be told here.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony left, I'm saying in the early 90s, maybe I'm gonna say before 95 was when Tony left and basically hung up his boots because it was an option.
Right.
Do that or do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of smell what you're cooking.
And he is TNT comes to shows periodically, and he sits up in the top on the bleachers, and it kills him because which things has changed over the years. It kills him that he can't get back in the ring, or he'd love to, but like me and like several others back from that day, our mind says yes, but our bodies say no.
Yeah, well, you only got so many bumps in you. I mean, that's why I'm still around, because I'm an announcer. I sit behind a microphone. I'm not in the ring getting the hell beat out of me every week.
But it's you know, Tony left in his prime. Tony left at the height of a great indie show wrestler career. Tony still had 99% of what he started with in him. And, you know, I hate to see it happen, but I understood at that time why it happened. I understand to this day, you know, but like I said, that's just a story for another time and another place and not here.
All right. Well, anyway, congratulations to Jammer and TNT. I'm glad that I know they both, you said Tony still comes to the shows sometimes. So I knew Jammer still lived in Mount Airy area, and it'll be good to see him again. But congratulations to Justice Inc. for going into the 2022 class of the AIWF Hall of Fame. Great honor, great honor, great honor. Let's see. And we also have, of course, we announced this several weeks ago, the Star City Rollers. I hit the button that time. And the Star City Rollers going in as well, class of 2022. That's Jimmy Janetti on your left of your screen, Jenny Janetti in the middle, and of course Jody Osborne going into the Hall of Fame this year at the class of 2022. So, man, this is getting me excited, man, because like each time we have an announcement, it's just a little bit better. So, like, I'm getting really stoked to see who's next. You know.
Well, it's. You know, there's so many deserving, I say AIWF oldies, but goodies, legends from back in the day. They are so deserving of this award. And, you know, I'm like you, Matt. I can't wait till each Thursday to see who's going to pop up next.
Yep.
You know, it's that little bit of excitement, you know, every Thursday to see what name's going to be brought up next.
And we don't have, you know, every Thursday, we don't have a new announcement. You know, I got that last night, and I am so grateful to the AIWF for letting us do the Hall of Fame announcements here first before they go up on any of the social media platforms. I cannot thank, you know, the championship committee, you, Commissioner Dave, Commissioner Rick Deezel, Kevin Phoenix, for what it's worth. I like to tease Kevin about not putting stuff on the network. And we had, and I actually had a really pleasant conversation with Kevin Phoenix, who is out in Las Vegas right now.
Good for him.
Yeah. Vegas is a good place to get away, but I will tell you what, if you go out there and you are reckless, you will come back broke and even more tired than when you went out there.
So, see what that championship, winning that championship belt, see the benefits that it carries.
Yeah,
that big payday, and you're able to go travel where you want to do when you time off.
Yeah, he was.
That's right.
He set to put some pictures out on social media today of him at front row for the comedian Eddie Griffin. So, and that does my heart good, because I really think now's the time we need to, all of us, you know, this is not just in the wrestling community, but need to support stand-up comedy, because after what happened at the Oscars, it is clear that people that stand-up comedy is under attack right now, and people don't understand jokes because they're morons. And
yes,
and yeah, I'm talking to you, Will Smith. You know, you smacked a man for paying a complimentary joke on your wife.
It's so moronic. I mean, comedians can't be comedians. We're living in a pandemic. It's a pressure cooker in the world, and these are the people that make us laugh, and we're giving them a hard time.
Yes,
the world is backwards right now. We're in a messed up society right now.
It is.
Watch your back, brothers. It's crazy out there.
And I know we're getting off topic of wrestling, but I would like to recommend something.
I myself, if I ever got a chance, Will Smith is from West Philadelphia, born and raised, and I don't care about that Bel Air. But if I got a chance, I'd give Will Smith a good one for Chris Rock, just for the heck of it. Pow!
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. After Chris Rock finishes his tour and he gets some time down to sit down and write out a routine about that, I'm telling you,
I would get Jax to train him, put him, come out there and put Will to sleep. Rear no good choke out there.
You know,
Chris Rock handled that like a gentleman.
He really did.
He proved what a class act he was. Now, I have thought some of the stuff he has said over the years is distasteful, but he handled that. He's a better man than I am because, you know, the temptation would have been to swing. I know, but you know, you could see that moment in his face where he's like, oh, no, wait. And then he even made a comment, I can't like that. And because he had thought if something came into his head, he was getting ready to roast Will Smith right there on the spot, but he decided not to. So
yeah, he remained a gentleman. Yeah. Kept the business.
Class act, man.
Yes,
but
sir.
Anyway, enough about stand-up comedy. But anyway, what I wanted to recommend though, guys, go out of your way. Bill Maher for New Rules last week on Real Time on HBO, but you can find it on YouTube. And I'm not going to get into politics on this show. I know some people don't like it, but he did a segment at the end of that called Explaining Jokes to Idiots, where he takes out a pointer, an old school pointer like a college professor would have, and breaks down Chris Rock's joke. And it is hilarious. It is on YouTube. I would encourage you to go out of your way to see that because he sticks up for stand-up comedians. Don't have any updates on the Top Gun tournament that we haven't shared with you before. As you can see, we have Ace Harris advancing out of the first round on the right side of the bracket. For those of you listening on the podcast, you can't see the bracket, but it's basically the way it's been for weeks. You can see it on our various social media platforms. Hopefully at our Mid-Atlantic show coming up on April 23rd, which is Spring Jam, we will have maybe one or two matches to get our bracket of the tournament underway.
I want to know, when do we find out who the mystery opponent is?
For Jordan Lawrence, yeah. Left of your screen, folks, if you're watching, you see 4 question marks in the bracket with Jordan Lawrence. I don't know when we're going to find that out, but I'm looking forward to Sin Crowley against Kevin Phoenix is going to be a great matchup. Benny Conley against David Parrish ought to be outstanding, but the one I would buy a ticket to see, honestly, this is just my humble opinion for whatever that's worth, not much. Jay Malachi and Pretty Boy Lane, goodness sakes, boy. That's what
sir.
Taz used to call those a rocket buster.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match right there.
Yeah, I'm looking
Jim
forward.
Ross calls them slobber knockers.
Slobber knockers. Yeah.
So speaking against people's slobber knockers and that type of thing, that is out of date. Stop. I'm gonna say
the show was so good. We're showing the flyer again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about that show.
I know it was out of date when I seen Ty Tyson there.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Ty Tyson suffered broken ribs at this show. And he is out. He is not going to be able to meet Jack at Spring Jam, Joey Nuggs. And I just like to get your thoughts on that.
I feel so bad for Ty. I really do. It breaks my heart. I don't care whatsoever. Dave, we are closer to finishing our job, brother. That's close. It's almost over, brother.
I was approached not only tonight, but earlier, even though I wasn't there. I've been asked if I was going to let what happened last Saturday night stand. Was I going to let that stuff, I'll say, go on for what happened to Ty Tyson? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to handle it as professional as I can, Joey Nuggs. The question to you, was you and Jax and these other people provoked by Ty Tyson or anything? You all was provoked for that action, right?
Yes, of course. We always have been.
That's the answer I needed, so I'm letting it stand.
He never minds his business. He never keeps it strictly business the way we're trying to do it.
Okay, well, Joey Nuggs, in your own words, could you explain to those of us who were not there, or me in particular, who has not been allowed to see the footage by Kevin Phoenix yet, not because of any ill will or malice. The man's out of town, so he couldn't send me the footage. So could you explain in your own words what happened? And then maybe when we get the footage, maybe by next week, we can share it with the people, but I'd like to hear it from you, from your perspective. What happened? How did Ty Tyson end up getting broken ribs?
That the broken ribs came from Jamal the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal the Titan gave him multiple splashes on his rib cage, and then at the end, I do believe he rolled over. He was in a lot of pain, and he took one more on his back, and that's when I think the ribs got broke. He tenderized him up pretty good before that, and he took a hard one across the ribs. And they say he's going to be gone for, I don't know, a couple of months, couple of shows. I don't know.
I would say
6 to 8 weeks. I heard.
But
yeah, something like that.
What was you and Jack's involvement with that though? That's what I'm not understanding. I had heard that he was in a match with Jamal the Titan. That's when the injury happened. But what was you two involvement? Because Smilin and Dave just asked you, were you provoked? So I'm trying to put the pieces of the puzzle here together.
I don't know. I don't remember everything. Everything was happening so fast these days. God, I don't remember. God, it was just so much melee. I mean, that was a night where security definitely wasn't on its job. I could tell you. Gosh. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Ty. Not really, but hey, it happens.
Well,
I think Jamal the Titan as the new champion just was feeling himself a little overboard. I'm not quite sure what happened to him there.
I agree with you, Madison. They need to be fined. Well, that compelling piece of radio and television brought to you by Joey Nuggs, who simply can't remember what the hell happened. So
I remember I was there, and I remember Ty got hurt, and I remember that a lot of things happened crazy, and things were thrown around a locker room, and I grabbed my bag and I took off. I don't remember a lot after that.
Okay. Lord have mercy. All right.
Crazy.
Maybe closed cigarettes were involved. Who knows? But anyway,
it was a crazy night. It really was. God.
Well, speaking of crazy nights, would you guys like to take a trip in the Wayback Machine? Because I have been able to procure some classic AIWF video again this week, if you guys would like to see it. And then we can talk about what's going on in the rest of the wrestling world. Let me see here if I can find the date. Okay, we're going to go back to Wentworth, North Carolina. It's Saturday night, June 13th in 2009. And if you guys remember, some of you older, longtime fans, let's not say older, some of our longtime fans might remember.
Vintage fans.
Yeah, might remember the Rick Deezel show. Well, Rick Deezel came to the ring that night, and he had some choice words for one Ricky Morton. So for those of you listening, just listen. The sound is real good. It's going to be pretty loud. And for those of you watching, I'm about to share my screen, and let's enjoy this. Check it out.
How's everybody doing tonight? As many of you may or may not know, I have a little show on AIWFWrestling.net called The Rick Deezel Show. And tonight, we're doing the Rick Deezel Show from right here in the ring, and I have a very special guest just for you people out there. This man has been wrestling on and off with the AIWF and its affiliates for over 10 years. He is a legend, and he is a former NWA Tag Team Champion. Let's hear it for the great Ricky Morton. Back here in North Carolina. I'm telling you guys, you don't hear about forever 8-time World Tag Team Champions. And I gotta say, it's because of all you fans, guys. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be on the Rick Deezel Show. All right. Thank you, Ricky Morton. Now, I want to ask you, the reason I got you out here tonight is that you've been on and off with the AIWF since the mid-90s. You have wrestled some of the top talent, but tonight, right here in this very ring, you are going for the #1 contendership to the AIWF World Heavyweight title, but you're going to be wrestling a big man in Big Daddy Edwards.
What do y'all think, guys? First of all, Rick, you got to understand one thing. And I'm not ashamed to say it, I've been wrestling 32 years. I have dedicated my life to this business in which I love. But understand, I am Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, and I'm from the old school. Like you said, I've wrestled a lot of people. I even wrestled Ric Flair, 17 different matches. And one thing about this right here, I never beat Ric Flair, but he never beat me either. They all went 17-hour matches. Pretty cool. But I'm not here to pat myself on the back because I know that I'm here wrestling for the #1 contender. I know about here Big Daddy thinks that using Ricky Morton for a stepping stone will help in his career a lot. But remember one thing, this is not my first rodeo, guys. I've been down this road before. If it takes blood, sweat, and tears, I've done it, and I'll be there. So understand one thing, Big Daddy. When I come here tonight, I come here to win. I come here to be the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight title. And when I plan on coming back here, I want to be in that World Heavyweight title match. Is that cool with you?
That's cool with me, Ricky.
All right, cool, guys. What do y'all think, guys? Let's wake up. All right.
All right, what do you think? Ricky Morton, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, guys. Oh.
All right, but Ricky, I'm not done with you yet.
You're not done with me. All right, good.
You know, there's something that's been weighing heavily on my mind for a long time. And finally, I get to ask you a question. Now, several years ago, you came to an AIWF show in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and you brought your son with you. I can't remember his name.
Kelly.
Kelly, yeah, Kelly. Your son Kelly's somewhere like 14, 15 years old right now, right?
Yes.
Well, that night in Mount Airy, I had my daughter with me who is now 14 years old. And her and your son Kelly kind of got to talking and got to liking each other a little bit. I mean, you know how kids are back then. Well, now, your son Kelly has been spending an awful lot of time calling my daughter Allison on the telephone.
Oh. Nice.
And I don't know what they're talking about because the door's always shut. But one thing I do know, Ricky Morton, is I know you. And I know that you have a long career of winding down the roads between wrestling shows and leaving little teenage girls with broken hearts. And I will not allow your son to do it to my daughter.
Well, first of all, I don't know where you're going with this. And you got to understand that you said this happened, what, several years ago? What were they, 8 or 9 years old? When's the last time they seen each other?
Well, they haven't seen
Okay,
it.
understand me. Let's get off here. Let's get on the right road here. Wouldn't it be better to have a relationship 300 miles away where they don't see each other? They just talk on the phone. Now, I know my son, if he's talking to your daughter, they must be friends. And I know that you're a daddy, and I'm a father, I'm even a grandfather. The one thing in my life is my kids. But don't come out here and try to downgrade me with my son, especially disrespecting your own daughter.
Well, let me tell you something, Ricky Morton, about my daughter.
Okay.
My wife on the bumper of her car has a bumper sticker that says, "My kid is an honor student." And I bet you on the back of your car, you've got a bumper sticker that says, "My kid is on parole."
You know, guys, hey, it's a great pleasure for me to be here tonight. Thank you very much. Every one of you for coming out. What a great compliment. But, you know what? You talk about your daughter, everything, but me, I show you what a real man is. Because I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk away from here. And whatever you got to say, you say it. Because I know my kid, because this conversation keeps on. It's going to get a little out of hand, buddy, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Morton, you walk away now, but this ain't over. I will not have my daughter's reputation ruined and soiled by the likes of your offspring.
Wow.
That was awesome. That, and there's more to that. We're looking for the footage right now. There's more to that. That led to a lot more. Man, but that got intense really quick. It went from a really friendly, laid back type interview to you're dishonoring my daughter. And Rick Deezel's daughter, Allison, that he talked about in that promo, is married now. But now the son, he said his name was Kelly. So that's different than the son that's wrestling Kerry Morton. That's his brother, right?
Kerry's a younger son.
Okay. All right. So, but yeah, interesting stuff from the Wayback Machine this week. So anyway, Smokey is not sending me any more questions. So we'll look, we've got a few minutes left before we have to go tonight. Let's see here. Looking at the Raw results here, Miz talked to Cody Rhodes. Hey, what do you guys think about that? That has got to be the weirdest turn in wrestling in quite a few years. Cody Rhodes goes off. He leaves WWE, is one of the founding fathers of AEW Wrestling. He's on the, he's an executive there. He gets the thing off the ground, and a few years later, he's right back in WWE, and he says he's going after the heavyweight title that his father never won. So I just, like you guys, been around this business a long time, just like I have. What do you think about Cody Rhodes and going back to WWE?
It was all about the Benjamins.
Yeah. Matt, there's an old saying just to prove what Joey just mentioned. And I'm going to skip the harsh word or two that's in that. Money talks and bull walks.
Sure does.
Yeah, didn't Cody make a comment? One of his last interviews on AEW, didn't he get in the ring and say something? Well, the contract, that wasn't what I expected in my contract, or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that. I mean, I can understand him wanting to carry on the Rhodes name. I can understand him wanting to do something that his father didn't do, or not didn't do, or didn't hold. I'll put it that way. No disrespect to Dusty Rhodes. But when you went to the lengths that he went in AEW to get it started, to help get it off the ground, to be a founding father for all the hard work, I believe there's more to meet the eye than what's really being said.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Looking down the results here too, the Usos defeated the Street Profits in a high stakes tag team showdown. And then in the aftermath, the Usos stepped out of the ring after standing face to face with Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro. So looks like coming down the line, maybe we're going to get a tag team title unification match between the Usos and RK Bro. I wonder what's the thinking behind this. I think honestly, I like to see that the fact that they're unifying the titles. I think one of the problems with WWE now is there's just too many damn belts.
Yeah,
and you know, my favorite title in wrestling has always been the U.S. title because it was born in this area, you know, and it managed to survive Crockett Promotions being bought out by Turner being bought out by McMahon, and it's still a viable factor. But I mean, 2 world champions, 2 tag team champions, the U.S., the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, is there a cruiserweight champion? Do they have that anymore? Or did they get rid of that in WWE? I don't think there's a cruiserweight.
I don't know. I don't think there is. I think the 24/7 championships, they build it up more than they do the regular championships. And you know, I kind of got a problem with that because to me that's a comedy. Yes, it is going over and it does work, but to me that's a disrespect to your normal champions, if I may.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people like the hardcore title back in the day. And one thing I will say that if you're at a WWE show and there's a match in the ring that's not I don't know, that doesn't really have the crowd interest, you know, sometimes some guys will come running across the floor, you know, one carrying the 24/7 title running from some other guys, and that kind of, you know, oh, okay, that was cool. Okay. And kind of gets the crowd back into it. So I see its purpose, but I know where you're coming from, Dave. I totally get that too. But I think if they were to have one world champion like they do now with Roman Reigns, and one tag team champion, and then, but I think you could get away with keeping the Intercontinental and the U.S. title both, because you got so much TV time to fill every week. You know, and you could feature the U.S. and Intercontinental title in title matches more often on TV, and of course put them on the line on the pay-per-views too, or premium live events, as the nomenclature goes with the cock now. But
if I'm not mistaken, that unification title match, tag team title match, is tomorrow night on SmackDown.
Is it now? Okay, all right. Let's see.
I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that it is.
Okay, so hey, our super fan Madison asked a question, and she's from Mount Airy, I believe. She just asked, and I guess this is to you, Smiling Diamond Dave, if the Mid-Atlantic was going to put any fines on Joey Nuggs and his people for what they did to Ty.
No fines. No. Joey explained the situation to me. He said that they was provoked. That's the end of the discussion. That's
they even talk bad about your mama, Dave, and I didn't stand for that, man. I don't.
Yeah, you know,
don't play that.
You know, people's big when other people's not around to talk about them. So, you know, Ty Tyson knows how I feel about him. I said I would handle the situation, even though I wasn't there. So for people like Madison, for people like Bulldog that keeps possessing this question, no fines will be levied. Joey was provoked. End of discussion. I handled it. You all accept it.
All right, that's that, whether you like it or not, from the commissioner. So yeah, and so that he can only be overruled by Commissioner Rick Deezel, and that usually does not happen. Rick Deezel doesn't get involved with the day-to-day. So there it is. No fines for Joey Nuggs and his guys.
And I'm offended that these people even question my word that I'm a gentleman, like I did something wrong out there that I shouldn't have been doing. That's just horrible. I hate this, the way they think out there.
Well, hopefully we can.
I think it's this pandemic that's making people all crazy and they don't know how to act anymore, losing respect for each other. Jeez.
Maybe so.
I think some of them was crazy before the pandemic got here.
That's true too.
I just sent them over the top. Okay, well, hopefully next week we can procure some video and see exactly what happened. So Kevin Phoenix, I know you're out there in Las Vegas watching this right now. So get me those video clips as quick as you can. Appreciate it. Thanks in advance, all that good jazz. Gentlemen, we are out of time for this week. Any final thoughts before we go?
Kevin Phoenix, play 13 black.
All right. Advice from the pit. Okay. Smiling Diamond Dave.
Okay. I'm looking forward to Spring Jam. I'm looking forward to the 23rd. It's going to be a great show for all those that's listening. Come out, April 23rd, Veterans Park, Mount Airy, North Carolina. The Spring Jam is going to be a great show.
Spring Jam, hair jam.
Yes.
All the wrestlers are coming out to 80s hair music.
That's right. It's a tribute to 80s hair metal. Oh, and that's something we can talk about next week. Write this down, somebody.
I already claimed our music that we're coming out to. So.
I want to know what bands, and you guys, you can think about this for next week. What bands in your minds qualify as 80s hair bands? Because I've been told that bands like Metallica and Megadeth don't count.
They're not hair bands. They're heavy metal bands.
So just think about that next week, and that'll be part of our discussion. What qualifies as an 80s hair band? And we will celebrate 80s hair bands like you heard from Smiling Diamond Dave and Joey Nuggs Saturday night, April 23rd at Veterans Park in Mount Airy. That's 691 Lebanon Street. We hope you'll join us for that great event. It's going to be a lot of fun with a lot of great wrestling action. And we hopefully will have some more match announcements and more to tell you about Spring Jam next Thursday night right here on AIWF Ringside Wrestling. So for AIWF Superfan Madison, for Joey Nuggs, for Smiling Diamond Dave, I am Mad Matt Carter. And until we'll see you next week, fans. And until then, so long for now. Good night.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
Have a good night.